All right. Well, I will go ahead and kick off the April 17th, 2023 Caroline County Broadband Advisory Committee meeting. Everybody should have gotten the agenda later this afternoon or a little while ago. Has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda? I'll take that as a yes. Any adjustments to the agenda at this point, or? All right, hearing none, we'll move forward with the agenda as is. We will not worry about reading back the minutes from the last business meeting or the last committee meeting, since we had, or it's all available on YouTube. Anybody can watch it from there. So we'll just jump straight into the old business. David, do you want to give us an update on the railroad crossings?
So at last check, the attorneys for CSX had the permits back in their ballpark. I'm hoping that by next meeting, we will have those permits through their legal department and our legal department. Those of you that have not been in negotiations with something like this, just know that if they make a change, then it has to go back to our attorneys for their approval. So sometimes it's a back and forth, but it does sound like that we're getting very close, and I remain hopeful that by May, the May meeting, we'll have some permits in hand.
Yeah, I know that we had a discussion today with a gentleman who said that there hopefully will make things easier going forward. There's some changes coming to that got passed through legislation. So, it probably won't help us now, but if we ever have to do this in the future for any reason, hopefully it'll make things a little bit easier. So,
and it could play a part, for example, of 2023, and we find that there's another crossing that wasn't in the process, but hopefully, the gentleman that we spoke with today through the Cable Television Association said that they had actually passed legislation to make it mandatory that the railroads participate more freely in the process of getting permits. So hopefully a little less pushback than what we've experienced. Mr. Thomas, I think we've been in this process, almost a year and a half or 2 years now, trying to get these permits.
Yeah, close to a year and a half.
So it's been a long process. And in all fairness to Breezeline, I will say that Mr. Newborg said that it's on average an 18-month to 2-year process to get the permit. So he was right about on the money, it seems like. So that's all on the railroad crossings. If you want, I can go ahead and jump into the updates on 2021, Jason. So the numbers are looking good for the VATI 2021 process. It appears that Breezeline's making good effort to get those installed as quickly as possible. The most updated numbers are 197 new customers on 2021 with about 27 pending orders. So we are right about getting closer to the halfway mark of that project, which would mean 50% penetration. One thing that I would like to say on the updates for VATI 2021, later in this meeting, we will have a presentation on the Affordable Connectivity Program by Jason Jacobus. That program will explain to people, not only in the VATI 2021 area, but if you're getting internet from Comcast, if you're already a Breezeline customer, if you pay Verizon Wireless for internet access for your home, there's some really good discounts if you have the qualifiers, and Jason will describe those. One of those qualifiers is a child in Caroline County Public Schools. Then you're already qualified, regardless of income, for a $30 a month credit. Breezeline and Comcast both offer $30 a month accounts. So the price is right. You can't get much better than free internet, but we would like to see that number and the VATI 2021 project go above 50%, just, to show that we are going to participate in the opportunity. But not only in that 2021 project, but if you live in Caroline County and you have a child in Caroline County Public Schools, or you qualify by income or other programs, again, the process is simple, and Jason will describe that in more detail later on in the agenda. That's it, Jason.
Okay. Any questions on 2021 at this point? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next one. I guess I'm up. David, let me see whether I can share a screen. I think you might have to.
Let me change that. I will allow you to share, and then I'll have to stop. So,
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let me know if you guys can see the Starlink updated map. All right. Perfect. Wanted to give everybody an update on this. I'm very encouraged from our last meeting that we had to the meeting tonight. We can see that this light blue means it's actually available, and the kind of a medium color blue, not the dark blue, but the medium color blue is actually saying that it's still waiting list. But we can see that this light blue is actually starting to take over. It was out here and all the way up, and partially down from Massachusetts down was still dark. We can see that we've got some of these light circles now starting to penetrate into here. So that means that the service is becoming readily more available over here to the eastern half of the US. If you zoom in, because I know Mr. Thomas is going to ask me the next question, but unfortunately, Caroline County is still within sight of the expanding in 2023. But I'm very encouraged to start seeing these available now, starting to pop up in Virginia, to where people in these areas can order them right now without a waiting list. So I'm actually very encouraged to see that. There has been a couple updates, and this is all speculation on stuff that I listen to and people that I follow and channels that I follow on Starlink. But it appears that all, or a majority, not all, Starlink stations on the eastern seaboard have actually rotated to face more northeast. And the reason they're doing that, the speculation is so that way people on the East Coast can actually start utilizing the satellites over the ocean more to help lessen the congestion of everybody just trying to hit satellites that are over land. Likewise, there has been confirmations that people on the West Coast have had their satellite dishes actually point more northwest over there. To allow them to take on more communications over the ocean versus over the land. So it's actually helping to kind of bridge that gap and help, instead of everybody saturating the center of the United States trying to pull in the data from the satellites, we're now starting to utilize some of those satellites that are actually over the ocean for some of the edge of the United States. So it's hopeful now. I'm glad to start seeing some of these lighter blues showing up here inside of our map. So that's a really good thing. Likewise, it was kind of disappointing. I was hoping to, and I know it's disappointing for them too, but I was hoping to be able to announce today that they have now officially launched their first Starship. That was supposed to go off this morning at around 9 o'clock. 8:45, 9 o'clock this morning. It was actually held off on launching because of a pressure valve, was the last thing I heard. And they have emptied the fuel out, and they have to wait 48 hours before they try and launch it again. What this means is once they can actually start launching and utilizing this delivery mechanism, they can now start launching the Starlink satellites 2.0. The newer bandwidth ones that are supposed to have, I think, 4 times the internet capabilities as far as speeds, and they're supposed to be a whole lot more efficient. It's not advantageous for them to use the current delivery method because these satellites are larger. So that's the reason Starship is critical for them to be able to start launching these payloads. There are videos that you can go online and look at it. It's actually interesting. If everybody's seen a Pez dispenser, that's actually what they are referencing this Starship as, is a Pez dispenser, because it actually has a delivery slot on the front of it, so it can just start basically popping out satellites without it having to launch as one giant payload. So that was kind of interesting to see that design. So hopefully by later on this week, we'll see that one get launched successfully, and that'll bring us one step closer to start, bringing even faster delivery of faster satellites up to, space for us to start utilizing. Other than that, haven't heard anything more on the data caps. They're supposed to go into effect this month, but I have not seen any more emails come out about that or any more speculation on the data cap, which is 1 terabyte. But again, I have not utilized 1 terabyte just in my working from at home, watching television, gaming, things of that nature, have not even approached the 1 terabyte. So I think that's a fair data cap for what they're looking to put in place. But other than that, that's kind of my Starlink update for this month. Does anybody have any questions or comments? There is one other thing I will bring up. Mr. Jacobus actually had it this month, and one other person in our community has also had it this month, where the Starlink dish was what we call flapping. That is where your service goes up, down, and you can't keep a constant connection out to the internet. Starlink, the ticket was put in through the app, and Starlink did respond back after some time, and it was ended up being with Mr. Jacobus. I believe they replaced the cable and they replaced the modem, and the modem is what appeared to have fixed that. And for the other person in the community, the same thing. When they replaced the modem, that appeared to have fix the problem. The one thing that I will say is the Starlink's online support or service support is lackluster. It is not there. There's not, somebody that you can pick up the phone and talk to. They were not very responsive. The one tip that I have heard from other people that have had to go through this is every day log in and update your ticket. Just add something new. Hey, the service is still showing down today. Hey, my speeds are lower today, what have you. I tried resetting the modem today. That didn't help. Just go in there every day and add something to the ticket, and it keeps the ticket fresh in their system. Whether that helps or not, I can't say. But I know that there have been other people that have done that and tend to get better responses or faster responses back from Starlink. So I have never tried that, but that's just something to keep in mind if you do have to contact Starlink.
Yeah, there is no tech support telephone number for tech support. If you go into the app and enter a help request, eventually they will possibly call you or ship you the parts without a call, but there is no phone number. So the only way to reach out to tech support is through the app itself, as far as I know. Is that correct, Jason?
So I can say yes. Jacobus, do you have that's the way you worked it, was through the app, correct?
Well, the service initially was so unusable, I couldn't even submit a text update to, the support area, right? You would type text and then hit go or submit and it wouldn't complete. So I had to then go to a different computer and then sign in online and create the ticket that way. But then I eventually pulled the debug data from the modem and uploaded that to the ticket. And then I got a call maybe 4 days later after that. So I know they prefer you to create the ticket from the support app because it gives them the debug data by default. So that's, I think, helpful, but may not be possible depending on the situation.
And that's the same situation that we ran into with the other customer that Jason's referring to, is their app would not connect because they live in an area where there was no cell phone data. So they couldn't even submit a ticket because their only form of internet communications was through the Starlink, which was down. So I think this committee made a good choice not to fall in behind that as being the last best solution when we did, but more or less a stopgap to try to help, meet the immediate need until hopefully something better will come along.
All right. Any questions on Starlink or anything around that? All right. Hearing none. Mr. Sadler, you want to give us an update on the 2023?
The main thing that we want to get out there is that we have not heard either way. No good news, no bad news as of this point. No strong confirmed rumors coming about when that day, when the announcement day will happen, other than the fact that we are still very hopeful that we have a very good application and remain hopeful that we're going to receive that. It's been my thoughts from the beginning that, we would benefit with possibly a little bit later announcement than what was first anticipated. The website still says anticipated award December. Again, we've joked many times about it doesn't say December of which year, but rather than have an early announcement of a smaller program, if it means incorporating the federal assistance and making the project larger and being able to get it under the same application, I think we'd be better off to do that. So even though it's not as early as we would like it, we're hoping that things are still moving forward and that it's going to be a positive award for us. But all we can do at this point is hope. Other than that, Jason, that's all I have to update on 23.
David, the reality there is when the award is made, those funds still won't be available until July 1st because it's the next fiscal year, correct?
That's well, I'm not sure exactly, depending on what funds they end up pulling it from out of the state. I do believe that there's a small amount that's available now in the budget, but by waiting and being able to combine it with the federal dollars, I will say that in the 2021, there was no billing to the state until very, very late in the project. Our partner BreezeLine started construction, put a lot of money out before we ever got an invoice to the county or to DHCD. So more than likely, once the announcements are made, work will start very quickly on what can be done ahead of a contract being signed. But then we have to go into the contract negotiations where our legal team, DHCD's legal team, which ends up being the state attorney general, and BreezeLine's legal team work back and forth to negotiate a contract. It's my hope that because we had a successful contract negotiation for 21, that we can use that to kind of start the process and come up with a document that will hopefully be mostly agreeable to all the attorneys involved. So we're hoping that we'll be able to streamline that contract negotiation a little bit and be able to get a contract signed by everybody and so they can actually start the process. Again, I think I mentioned it at last month's meeting. BreezeLine has included RDOF area, the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund area in VATI 2023. Because that's a federally funded program, that money has already been committed. So they are starting some work that they can do ahead of time. They've already started walkouts. There's already been contractors and engineers, Fort Breeze line down in the Sparta Central Point passing area that's going to be covered by that RDOF fund. So they're not waiting until everything is announced down the road. They're going ahead to start doing what they can. A lot of the materials and stuff that they've ordered already for RDOF is sitting on their lots, so they're ready to go. And so we're just hoping everything works out and they can get started on the bigger project. All right, Jason, any other questions about 23? I know a lot of people are getting frustrated. I can tell you that just based on the number of questions I have coming to me at the county from the county website broadband inquiry form, that the citizens are excited and raring to go, and some are getting frustrated. But unfortunately, we've done everything that we can do. Now all we can do is wait. All right, Mr. Barlow. Is Jason still with us?
Yep. Sorry, I was talking on mute. I had muted myself while you guys were talking. Sorry about that. So hearing no other questions on VATI 2023, we'll move on to new business. Mr. Jacobus, I guess you're up.
All right. I will take the screen share. All right, let me hit slideshow and you can see my screen. Yeah, all right. So got broadband, that's been our motto here for the Caroline County Broadband Advisory Committee. And Caroline County is committed to making the answer yes, so we're doing what we can as we just previously discussed. So I'm here to talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program. And you most likely or hopefully can save $30 per month right now. So what is the Affordable Connectivity Program? It's a FCC program that provides up to $30 a month assistance for qualified persons to assist with the cost of internet coverage. And currently all the major providers in Caroline, Verizon, BreezeLine, and Comcast offer service for qualifying customers at or below $30 per month. And other wireless providers may also offer discounts. Participants must live in an area that currently has internet available, and if our grant is successful and we eventually have universal coverage throughout the county, everyone could then be eligible for low cost or no cost internet. So if you're watching this, thank you. And how could you help? Well, number one, you could be a community advocate for this program and getting the word out. So we're doing our thing here, right? We could always do better. Use your contacts with other agencies and spread the word, and then familiarize those around you with this program information so that they can also spread it by word of mouth. So how can you use this program? You have to qualify either by income, child or dependent, or participation in other assistance programs, but you have to provide proof to qualify, and we'll go over that now. So there is a qualification by income, and they spell out the values for that household size and income online. So the big one here highlighted in red with the star emojis is that in Caroline County, we have a community eligibility provision because Caroline County Public Schools has a free and reduced lunch program through the USDA. That means that all families with children attending Caroline County Public Schools are eligible for this program. So that's why I put the star there, right? Because everyone has this available to them right now, including myself. Also, other primary assistance programs like SNAP, Medicaid, WIC, SSI, FPHA, et cetera, veteran pension survivor benefit, or if you've received a federal grant in the current award year. So if you are interested, how do you get started? So you have to go to the following website to pre-qualify, so affordableconnectivity.gov. And when you go to the website, you have to supply your information and create a profile. So your name, date of birth, social, and then your child's name if you can qualify through your dependent, and then their social and address as well. So it's a pretty standard form. You have to continue with the profile creation and agree to the consent forms by checking those boxes. So then the next option is, and this is what I use, is your child qualify through any of these dependents, and I check the free and reduced school lunch program for the current school year. So this means that it's only valid for each calendar year and is subject to change. So the form gets pretty detailed here, where it then says, hey, select your state, the school district, and then the school itself. Gets a little bit trickier here. You're then prompted to upload your proof. So they want a document, a picture, or PDF. So to get the particular form that proves that your child is in the eligible program, you go to Caroline County Public Schools website, ccps.us. And when you're at the site, you click on Parents Portal, and then the PowerSchool Parent Portal, and then sign in through there. So you do need to have your PowerSchool Parent Portal set up as well. All right. So then within PowerSchool, the school board has created a ACP application process by going to your student reports, community eligibility provision for 22-23. So right here, and then right here. And when you select that document, it prints out a unique individualized form for your child. So you see it's got the official letterhead and the community eligibility provision for the current school year with the student's name, grade, address, and school, and the parent of the child's name. So this is the document that you're going to want to save, because we need to upload that at the ACP website. So here we're returning back to the ACP application, and we're going to choose the file to upload from that previous step by clicking choose file and submitting it. So you have to click submit and allow some time. So I had problems because the document wasn't correctly set up on the Caroline County website, but we've gotten that fixed. It looks great. It works. You should submit it, and then you'll receive the document once it's been reviewed. So then once you're approved, they'll send you an email, and you'll have to save the application ID, and that is what the internet service providers will use to verify your approval. So you don't want to delay at this point. You're going to want to sign up with your ISP now. So for people that are getting BreezeLine installed, they would want to have this prior to getting signed up with new service. But if you have a existing service, and we'll go over those in just a moment, you would then take this information to provide to their forms as well. So you get this application ID and all the name there. All right, so then BreezeLine, who's making the most noise in the county right now, they have an ACP portion on their website, and with the and through this is their statement that they will provide a discount of up to $30 per month for broadband services for eligible customers. Consumers who live on qualifying tribal lands can receive enhanced support of up to $75 per month towards broadband services. Then here's the star statement here. Customers who subscribe to BreezeLine through ACP program can now sign up for the Internet Assist Plus program with 100 over 10 megabits per second at $29.99 per month, and may be $0 after application of the ACP discount. So that's very, very nice. So the BreezeLine ACP application, I don't have the full end-to-end of this, but from their website, You need to, number one, qualify, as we discussed, going to the ACP site and then getting the approval. Then you come to BreezeLine and fill out their enrollment form, and you click Enroll Now and fill out their form with all the required information, accept the terms, and there we go. So once again, if you were a new customer, and if you're looking for broadband service and you have BreezeLine available in your area and you feel you are eligible for the benefit, you need to apply for ACP first, then place your internet service order at their website. And then after the internet's been installed, you follow those steps as we just discussed, and BreezeLine receives the confirmation of your eligibility, and then they process the discount and you'll get an email confirmation. Also, I have my ACP discount through Verizon because my mobile cell phone provider is Verizon with hotspot capability. And this works for these services as well because I guess they understand the nature of what we're doing here in these unserved areas where we need to perform, a hotspot on our phones to get some type of connectivity. So this discount also works for mobile service providers. So check with your mobile service provider if ACP works. I do have success through Verizon, have not tried the others, but we will build out that documentation as we get it. So once I was approved, I went to Verizon and checked on what programs they had, what services they had available that could be discounted through ACP. And when you say I want to enroll, they ask for some forms to be filled out, some yes agrees. Then they ask for your enrollment type. You have to provide some information. I had one error going through the first time, refreshed the page and tried again. And then they say, give us 1 to 2 months. You should see a discount applied within 1 to 2 billing cycles. And as of this month, still getting this $30 credit for this school year. We'll see what happens next year, and I'll keep updating you guys. So appreciate it. But yeah, this is something that everyone with a child in Caroline County Public Schools can take advantage of right now. And we should be able to expand access as we roll out, hopefully, universal coverage to the county. Thank you. Any questions?
I would like to say thank you to the Caroline County Public Schools for working with us on getting that form up on the portal so that it is a customized form that checks the boxes for ACP. So we do owe a debt of gratitude to the schools for that. We hope to partner with the schools and go back and revisit at one of their school board meetings, possibly somewhere in the future, and go over this program for school board because they have a large outreach to parents throughout the county. And it's just important for us to know that I know personally of customers that live in areas that are currently served by Verizon or Comcast, and they have those connectivity and they just cannot afford it. And this is a solution that can help those parents get their students online. And I think, it would definitely be a positive for the entire family as well as the student that's in school. So it is a good program, and it's something that we need to take advantage of. The other thing, because we learned today in a meeting that we had earlier that we will be able to get numbers as far as participation by community in the ACP program. When we get those numbers, we'll be able to see how many of our citizens are taking advantage of that program. We have a small subset of installations and pending installations that we see in 2021, but that's just a small part of the picture. We have a lot of other citizens in the county that currently have BreezeLine that are not under VATI 2021. We have Comcast, we have the mobile providers. Jason, I'm not aware that Starlink participates. Have you guys heard anything along that?
I have not, no.
So there are a bunch of providers. Again, if you have a question about this or need help, or even need help getting the documentation in a format that you can upload, the broadband inquiry form on the website is accessible for mobile phones. Use that, reach out to us. We will get someone in touch with you to make sure you're able to get through the application process and help you any way we can. We would love to see those numbers go higher for the subset of the 2021 project as far as, subscribers. But then again, we just want to try to be here to help you guys find a solution. So if you have any questions about ACP, please don't hesitate to reach out on that broadband inquiry form. And we will get someone who's qualified to help you in touch and help you go through the process.
Chat, Joey Robinson said we advertised this earlier in the year and we can again as a reminder.
Yep. Again, Joey, we appreciate all of the help that the schools have been with this. You guys are the big engine as far as that community qualification through the schools. So we appreciate your help with that. And again, you guys have such an outreach to the parents and students that again, we want to partner with you guys and get your assistance, and we're going to do everything we can on this side. And I know, Joey, I saw you running around at the meeting over there. We were over there as well earlier. So we appreciate everything you guys do.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments on the presentation that Mr. Jacobus just gave? All right. According to my agenda for tonight, that was the only new business item that we have. So seeing nothing else on the docket, I guess the only agenda item left is to talk about next month's meeting. I think if I'm looking at the agenda correctly, May 15th at 7 p.m. Is that correct? All right, is everybody, that's our normal meeting night, so we'll just go ahead and hold it then. That'll be before our Memorial Day vacation or break. So if everybody's okay with that, we'll just stick with our May 15th.
Make a motion, we stay with May 15th.
Okay. All right. And I guess at this point, the only other item left is adjournment.
One thing, Jason, before we go, and I
Yes, sir.
think the last thing, we referenced it, but didn't necessarily talk about it. The chair and the vice chair of this committee, the two Jasons, David Sadler and myself, along with representatives from the county, were at a meeting with Breezeline today down in Richmond, also with Lancaster, Middlesex, and whatever the other county was that I can never remember.
Matthews, Sussex, and Lancaster. Yep.
Matthews, that's it. So we were all there, and to some degree, it was going to be a Breezeline public relations meeting, because they had all of us there as the winning counties from 21 talking about our process and how it was. But uniquely, there were some representatives from the state that were there. So hopefully they will see how really important this is to rural counties and see that we're one of the ones who really need it. And I also tried to put in, a quick word to see when the award would happen, but they didn't even know. So, but it was a good thing. And I'm not sure, Jason Barlow, if you want to add anything, you had some talks with folks there, maybe you or Jason Jacobus does.
No, I think what you said basically sums it up. I think it was a very good meeting. I think it was a good relationship to sit down and meet with, all of the different counties that won in the 2021 that was part of our, that we worked with. And then there were some conversations around other grants that are available that myself and Jacobus are going to be looking into to see if we can utilize them or how we can, apply for them and try and get those. Those would not be anything that would apply or give broadband or help bring broadband quicker. That's what we're hoping to get with the VATI 2023. But it could be something that we could utilize to get out to the community about the affordable connections, trying to help out with some meetings around internet security, internet best practices, things like that. So we're going to do some research into that and see if the grant funds that are there would be, viable for us to utilize based on the way that we have the committee set up and the way that we have, our normal sessions and so forth. So we're going to basically have that as a takeaway at this point.
The one thing too that we were able to talk with Dr. Tamara Holmes, the broadband director for DHCD. There's a program called LECAP, Line Extension Program, that help people who live a distance from a connection that have to extend the line just to get to their house. There is a hard limit on income as far as that program, but she also went on to say that there's some other factors that they can take into effect. For example, if I live, say 3,000 feet from an internet line, but my salary income is above the threshold of, I believe, $135,000 is my household income limit. They can also take into consideration that, for example, there's more than one house on that extension, so that would possibly play into it and allow that to become that house to be eligible for the line extension program. BreezeLine participates in that. Comcast participates in that. So there is some assistance now for those people that for years have lived too far from a line to get the line to their house. And that's the LECAP program. So this week and next week, we'll be back in touch with in talks with BreezeLine with the new information that it's possible that cap won't necessarily prevent some of we have a few challenges that we've been trying to work with BreezeLine on coming up with a solution. So it's possible that LECAP may help some people that currently live in an area that's served by BreezeLine, but possibly live too far off the road to get that extension. It is expensive for these companies to go 3,000 feet from a road. It's nearly a mile, and there's a lot of cost involved. So this LECAP program will actually pay them to extend the line to some of those areas. So again, if you have questions about LECAP, please reach out to us through the broadband inquiry form, and we'll get you in touch with the LECAP people at BreezeLine or Comcast or whoever the provider might be. So if you have questions, for example, like I said, you've just known that you live too far away off the road to get it. There's possible that we can get some help that way as well.
Okay, great. Jason, I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn since I kept this longer.
That'll work. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor of adjourning? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And thank you guys again.
Yep, it was good to see everybody today and good to have that little gathering. And let's hope that we have the same type of gathering for our 2023 grant before too long.
Yeah, and it was nice to see people and they weren't a quarter an inch tall.
It was. Yes, it was.
That was good. All right, guys, thanks. You have a good one.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Y'all have a good evening.